Thank you very much indeed, Michael. What a setting. The last of the summer wine and basked in glorious sunshine here. Absolutely magnificent. An amazing setting. Thrilling spectacle. Just so great to be here, to see these pictures. A wonderful day for the sport, a sport which is such an inherent part of everyday life in the hurling heartlands. And these finalists today, Park Cronin then leading the men from Cork, just like the other finalists this month, carrying the hopes, the expectations of their own communities at home. And it's mirrored by the colour that you see everywhere, not just here in Croke Park today, but all around the country, especially in the counties where the competing teams are from. Clare, bedecked in the colours of the Clare team, the little flags to be seen on cars crisscrossing the nation's roads, the colours that adorn the front of houses, the bunting, not to mention the well-decorated teddy bears they stick on the hedges and the fences, all of it underlining it again, the sheer popularity of Gaelic sports and the sense of camaraderie which a great sport like this, like hurling, can engender. It's a final, Michael, which brings down the curtain on a summer that's produced some fascinating, brilliant, entertaining matches. Let's hope we get another one here.
Absolutely, Joe. Fantastic summer, and you know, I for one am delighted we had a draw the last day, so we can go again and see. And you know, it's going to be intriguing to see how Cork go about it. In particular, they got well beaten in practically every position on the field the last day, and they won't want that to happen again. I expect a few changes in their forward line. I think Park Cronin will go to full forward, and they're going to try some high ball in there. You know, I think that's the Clare full backline had looked a little bit dodgy under the high ball during the summer. I think Pat Horgan might go out the field to centre forward with Keane McCarthy out in the wing. We'll wait and see. But I expect much more physical Cork, much more determined. And I went for Cork the last day marginally, but I just think that this Clare team, they really impressed me the last day. I knew they were a very good young team. I thought it might be a year too soon for them. But to have some exceptional hurlers, as Liam Sheedy said in the studio, to have, you know, so many 19-year-olds, Tony Kelly, Podge Collins, Shane O'Donnell, young lads like that, David McInerney, fantastic players, and Colin Galvin in the middle of the field, and with lots more of them coming from the under-21 teams. So it's a big day for both teams. I think if this Clare team can make the breakthrough, we're going to see an awful lot of them in years to come. And the same with Cork, a young team as well. Generally speaking, you know, Shane O'Neill, maybe the most experienced man, they played very well the last day. But look, who knows until it starts. Every game of hurling takes on its own life. And look, I for one, the atmosphere, Gerard, unbelievable. 82,000 people, the atmosphere around Dublin all day, and we are some country for hurling and football. Unbelievable.
Quite amazing. Throughout the month of September, I estimate around about, including tomorrow's women's final, probably 300,000 people have come through the turnstiles. Staggering when you think about it.
Unbelievable. 1.5 million people at times last Sunday watching the football final on television. It's just an incredible love of the game we have, and you know, I'm just expecting another cracking game. And one thing I noted there, Davy Fitzgerald looked so relaxed before the game.
Does.
It was incredible. In the team talk there, he was calm, he was collected, you know, and a man who's been around the block as a trainer now so much, but he just looked so relaxed. And obviously his players couldn't hurl the way they do unless they were relaxed, determined and relaxed. A great way to go out in the match.
He means so much to the game and to this group of young players up against Cork, coached brilliantly by Jimmy Barry Murphy and his backroom team. Now, before the action gets underway, there's going to be a moment's pause to mark the untimely passing of several people connected very closely with the GAA. They include Richie Boyle from Artfitting in County Tipperary. He was an umpire with the team of officials that did so many big matches. Albert Fahy from Ballymahon in County Longford, brother of Derek Fahy, the well-known referee, also passed away recently. Sean Duggett from Galway, former Liam Mellow's hurler, he also died very sadly recently. And of course, as well as that, the former Uachtaráin of Cummin Luke Glasgow, Paddy McFlynn. Paddy was a native of Maharafelt in County Derry. He was a founder, member of the O'Donovan Rossa club there. At 23, he was secretary of the Derry County Board, and then he moved to County Down, served as president of the board there, and was involved in the Tully-Lish Club, and he was, of course, president of the GAA from 1979 until 1982. Always such a pleasant man to meet. Yesh love day Gorilla, Nonam Nuka Ursel.
And Jerry, we could just mention maybe the Connolly's dad in Galway, the great Connolly hurling family, John, Joe, Michael. Their dad was buried last Monday as well, and may he rest in peace.
It's Clare versus Cork, the sequel. Saturday night hurling fever grips Croke Park. Amazingly, it's the sixth meeting of these teams. It's handled today by James McGrath, the Westmeath official. His second All-Ireland hurling final replay. He was in charge, of course, last year as well. Now, the band haven't got off yet. And eventually the referee just decides, throw the ball in and let's get on with it. And it is Cork who play from left to right in the first half, hoping to make a good early impression here. Park Cronin, the captain, coming out here, leaving it as far as Stephen MacDonald, across to the far wing. Coming up to pick it up is Conor Lehan. Got on the point last week, well blocked down this time by the roving Conor McGrath. Does an immense amount of work for this team. Meant to be at corner forward, but he's back helping out. Lehan goes after him. McGrath hits that shot, but hits it just to the right. Worth a go, he probably felt. It would have been a huge boost for his team, but his work rate is immense.
Incredible, a great block down there on Conor Lehan. Just watching here what's happening. Pat O'Connor has gone in centre back on Cian McCarthy. Pat Cronin now gone in full forward, and Pat Horgan has come out, and Brendan Bugler has picked him up.
Brian Murphy, it looks like, has been given the job of going and picking up Padge Collins. We'll see how he fares on him this afternoon. Difficult man to contain. Coming out with this one is Pat Donnellan, Clare captain, hoping he'll be lifting the McCarthy Cup at the end of all of this. Driving forward, John Conlon, looking over his shoulder here to see William Egan after him. Strikes it off his left and puts it over the bar. Opening point of the match scored by John Conlon. It's taken just over a minute to produce here. Good individual work, bounced it off the ground, then 45 metres out from the target, off his left-hand side, avoided the hook of Egan and put it over the bar.
Yeah, Ger, that's a great score, and interestingly, long puck out from Anthony Nash again. They have the win behind him, Cork, and again the breaking ball won straight away there by Clare, by Conor Ryan, out to John Conlon, and a great score.
Into the half-forward line from this puck out, and it's enabled Pat O'Connor to go back, get away from his man, who is Cian McCarthy, who's gone out to the wings as anticipated. In here as far as Colin Ryan. Clare settling down to the task immediately, in as far as the man they brought in for this, Shane O'Donnell, in place of Dara Conan, trying the shot, and that one has got over the bar. 2 attacks, 2 points.
Ger, that's great ball, diagonal ball across the field. Just O'Donnell inside in his own, took on Shane Reel, and a great score again, confidence to put it over the bar. This is a great start by Clare.
Well, he'll be very, very pleased with that. It was interesting, I thought Padge Collins was going to be picked up by Shane O'Neill, but they've gone and switched back again. Puck out once again by Cork to try to win this one, and it breaks down here as far as Seamus Harnedy, driving it from 20 metres out, a point they've needed to settle down the teams. 2 points to 1, and as in the first match, Seamus Harnedy gets the first point for Cork in this game.
Yeah, you saw Cian McCarthy under that, pulling very hard under the dropping ball, and obviously that's something they worked on. That's why he's in there, and great ball picked up by Harnedy. Referee
calling across after we acknowledge Harnedy's fine play there. 2 players, Pat O'Connor has been called across, and Patrick Horgan as well. Remember, he sent off Pat Horgan, this referee, before half-time in the Munster final against Limerick, and that was later rescinded. 2 points to 1 then, Clare leading. Pat Kelly's puck out. Wind holding it up a little bit. Wind back in Cork for the first half. It's a gentle breeze. Harnedy once again, very effective. All the way in towards Park Cronin, who's moved into full forward. Challenged strongly, gets as far as Luca Farrell, trying to make inroads, not succeeding immediately. Judiciously playing it out as far as Rocco McLaughlin, and McLaughlin puts it over the bar. And the teams are level for the first time in this match. 3.5 minutes are gone. It's flying stuff here at Croke Park in this replayed final. Yeah, great work by Luca Farrell and Lorcan McLaughlin on his shoulder. But interestingly, as I said before the game, Pat Cronin at full forward, and they're going to be looking for a high ball in there. He broke that down and was picked up, and you can watch the Cork forwards much sharper on the breaking ball so far in the first few minutes. And
great start.
Dillon's on Pat Cronin at full forward. He's gone across into full forward. Here's John Conlon, second possession for him. Scored with his first one. It's going to drop short. O'Donnell's in there. Loves to score goals. He's got more goals than points. 3-2 is his tally in the championship this year. Brought it out here as far as Christopher Joyce. Challenged there by 2 Clare men, got it off his left-hand side and swings it into midfield, in towards Harnedy once again. Jumping for it there with Conor Ryan, the man of the match in the original game. Tony Kelly across the field over here. Conor O'Sullivan challenging Conor McGrath. McGrath has it. Second time to get on the ball here in this match. Put the first one wide, and the second shot he hits, and he hits it over the bar. Great point by Conor McGrath. His sheer industry rewarded here. He can be such a lethal predator, this fella. Showed his skills once again here, and Clare shoot back in front once more.
Yeah, Ger, what a start to the game. The pace is just incredible. Every ball being fought for, both sides picking up great breaking ball, and Tony Kelly there again with a great ball into space, and you saw how quick Conor McGrath turned again there, and a great score.
Conor Ryan is picking up Harnedy, just having a look around at the different matchups that they have here. Once again it is Donlan in midfield, pursued here by a couple of Cork players. One of them is Daniel Carney. Can he catch up with him? What a run through the centre here, across towards O'Donnell, and O'Donnell goals! This is the man they brought in because of his real goal threat. His 4th championship goal, justifying his selection. A goal in the 6th minute. What a boost this is.
Well, Joe, what a run by Pat Donlan, first of all. But he shouldn't be able to walk up the centre like that. But a great hand pass, and what a finish, low and hard into the net. And as you said, that's psychologically, this is huge for Clare to get that goal so early.
Cork trying to counter at the other end. Luca Farrell trying to pick it up. Repulsed, however, and David McInerney trying to get it out. Back in by Luca Farrell, prodded back out by Donald O'Donovan. Back out here as far as Lochlan McLaughlin. 30 metres out from goal. McInerney tries to force it out. Helped there by John Conlon. Conlon has it, gets away from McLaughlin. Steals away, back off his left-hand side again, now drives it a good 70-80 metres into the goalkeeper's hand. Could have done something better with that one, I think. That goal was a huge boost, however. 1-3 to 2 points. It's still Clare, and it's Tony Kelly now winning the free in, and everything has gone well for the banner.
It is, Ger, but you know, it's open both sides. Cork could have broken onto a ball on the far side of the field, but you'd have to say there, look at again the tackling of Tony Kelly there. But here's Pat Donlan, you know, the break down the middle. There was nobody in the centre back position. He ran straight down the channel, showed great pace and a great goal.
And that's what it means to Davy Fitzgerald and Saoirse Bulfin there, his right hand man on the sideline. His first free of the game, first of the match, going to be taken by Colin Ryan. 12 points against Cork the last day, 11 of those coming from frees inside the 45-metre line, and a very, very good start here.
And during the work rate of the Clare forwards, John Conlon was back in his own half-back line there. He took a wrong option, but look at the tackling when Cork tried to come out. Tony Kelly fought so hard for the ball, won the free, and Colin Ryan first scored today for him.
Well, Clare, of course, imposed their physical might and ruthless determination on Cork the last day. Now what are Cork going to do about it? That puck out towards Park Cronin. He gets there well. Trying to link up here with a support player. It's William Egan, drives it in towards the goal area, bounces off Luca Farrell, collected back there well by Conor Ryan, driven back out here as far as Colm Galvin. Galvin trying to get away from Daniel Carney, and out over the sideline following that intense pressure. A line ball to Cork, who trailed by 1-4 to 2 points, 7.5 minutes into the match. Chris Joyce about to take this in his second, or is he? He's going to leave it, and the man who'll hit it in instead will be Daniel Carney. Very, very energetic player, Daniel Carney. Almost a miss hit there, and he gave it away to Colm Galvin. Gets onto it. Carney went in to try and make amends and get the block in. Took a little bit of the heat out of that. Drops onto the hands of Conor O'Sullivan. Helped out, and there was a foul there on Brian Murphy. And Brian Murphy is feeling his hand there, and Tony Kelly is spoken to by the referee.
Yeah, and as you were, Colin Galvin a little bit casual on the ball the 2 times he got it, but a great block down, very brave there by Daniel Carney.
And he got a kick in the head, totally accidental from Colm Galvin coming through that time, but it showed sheer commitment and bravery on Carney's part. And this looks like it's going to be a talk rather than a card eventually.
Yeah, that might be a throwback to earlier in the summer, you know, rather than giving a yellow card very early. And Brian Murphy, as you said, Mark and Podge Collins, no ball has come in between them yet, and Stephen McDonald out at centre back on Tony Kelly, but Tony Kelly just threw him away for that goal, took him out to the wing, and he went with him and left the middle wide open for Pat Donlan.
That's interesting. They brought the goalkeeper out, Michael, to take it. It's right on the middle line between the 265s, but they've opted instead to try Pat Horgan. Well, it's well within his range, Jenny, as we know.
Yeah, I think he might have stolen 4 or 5 yards there from where it was originally given, and it brought it into his range. 11
shots on the target the last day, 10 points in all, and he's got his first here. So 1-4 to 3 points, early stage in this replayed final. Pat Kelly pucks it out, puts the pressure on the Cork half-backs. They have a big task on their hands. Colin Ryan, Kelly and Conlon, all very good players. Out it comes from defence, out as far as Conor O'Sullivan. Always keeps a very cool head and very often links up with his goalkeeper, Anthony Nash, who knows what's coming and anticipates and drives it back away down the field towards Cronin. Picked up here by McCarthy, Cian McCarthy. swinging it off for his left shoulder, but swinging it wide.
Yeah,
there's an opportunity.
I think Jerry get an idea of the wind there. You know, Anthony Nash has a great puck of the ball, but he right down to the 21 from his own line. And you know, Cian McCarthy, I think that's a fault in his game. You know, he takes on shots. Pat Cronin was loose inside him. All he did was throw a little hand pass over the top there, and it was his handy score. And he went for, you know, a really 50-50 ball and pucked it wide.
Pat Kelly pucking it out. Dropped down there. And onto it quickly comes Conor McGrath. After him goes Seamus Harnedy. In low, dangerously, in towards O'Donnell again. In to try and collect it is Shane O'Neill, and he succeeds in his task, but he's closed down. Intense pressure by the Clare forwards. Get it out as far as Brian Murphy. Murphy away down there into the corner to Conor Lehan. A lot of work to do from here. Takes on Donald O'Donovan. O'Donovan challenges him high, loses him completely, and Conor Lehan has a shot and puts it over the bar. Brilliantly done by Lehan. All of a sudden there was an enormous amount of space in front of him. He actually could have carried it another 20 metres, but he had enough confidence in himself. He backed himself from this angle here, hit it over the bar brilliantly. 1-4 to 4 points.
Jerry had, but that's a fantastic score. You know, Shane O'Neill out in front of his man, and you know, Brian Murphy up the wing, and what a score by Conor Lehan. And what a game. Cork coming back into it again, but here's Clare coming through.
And it's Conlon who was blocking down William Egan's clearance, and they managed to get it out of defence, Cork, eventually out towards Lorcan McLaughlin, who'll be looking for a great deal more success from his efforts in midfield. The first game seemed to almost pass him by. There was a chop there, and it's got to be a free in from 45 metres out. This was where Lorcan McLaughlin was trying to get the ball away, and the referee saw an illegal use of the stick, so it's got to be another free for Clare and Colin Ryan.
Yeah, great work by Podge Collins, a great tackling again, and he won the ball and was held back, and a handy free now for Colin Ryan.
So from 45 metres out, straight in front of the posts, should be an easy one, and is for Colin Ryan from Newmarket on Fergus. 2 from 2 for him, 1-5 for 4 points. Early stages yet, but some Clare fans already looking like they think this could be their day. It may well be. Puck out quickly towards Park Cronin. Was he pushed in the back? Cork fans thought so. Clare fans thought otherwise. Likewise the referee. Here comes Colin Galvin from 65 metres out. Conor O'Sullivan comes across to try and cut it out. Well, that first touch has to be good because Conor McGrath is in immediately. He's got to support Clare as well. And there's another goal! And he's done it again! Amazingly, Shane O'Donnell with 2 in the opening 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah, you'd have to say they're great ball across, but you know, Conor O'Sullivan normally so tidy made a mistake, but Conor McGrath still had a lot to do. But what a run, straight down the middle again, beautiful hand pass. And Shane O'Donnell, who wasn't in the team all week, comes in, 2 goals in the first 12 minutes of an All-Ireland final. What a dream for him. And they're huge scores for Clare. Didn't score goals all year, and now they look like scoring one every time the ball goes in there.
And he didn't get on the field, Michael, in the original match 3 weeks ago, but it's been a huge bonus for Clare to have him in there, and a wonderful decision by Davy Fitzgerald to select him at full forward. He's got that goal touch. They always say about O'Donnell, doesn't even think about anything else, just goes straight through. So 2 goals in the space of 7 minutes have fairly well set this match up for Clare. Now what will the Cork response be? Patrick Horgan hitting it in. It's going to drop a bit short in there. Bounces off Cian Dillon's hands. Back to Pat Kelly, his goalkeeper. Keeps a nice cool head. Gets it back out as far as Pat O'Connor. Slips it in as far as Colin Galvin. And they work it out of defence in measured, controlled fashion. Very enterprising play by Clare. Down once again as far as O'Donnell. He's tormenting that Cork full back line. They get it out eventually, Cork. Out eventually by Stephen MacDonald. Whips on it down into the inside forward line. Lehan once again. Can he prove the danger man for the Rebels here? He's got another point. 2 shots, 2 points for Conor Lehan, and it's a 2-goal game. 2-5 to 5 points.
Yeah, Conor Lehan very sharp since the start of the game. Maybe had a half chance there for a second, but he was forced out the field and put it over the bar. But again, it's Conor McGrath's run, and look at the little hand pass there. You talked about Shane O'Donnell maybe making the runs and scoring goals, but they're just 2 finishes that he had to make from lads coming straight down the middle and opening up the Cork defence. And you know, Cork are really going to have to tighten up back there. I think you know, the changes aren't working. Brian Murphy will maybe have to go centre back and try to close down the half back line a little bit.
Clare have created 10 chances so far, taken 7 of those. Cork have created 7 chances and taken 5. They're trying to create an 8th one here now. Once again towards Luke O'Farrell, bounces away from him, and David McInerney is a very, very crafty cornerback today, rather than the number 3 on his back of his jersey. Solo's too far, got a little bit too confident in himself, and Luke O'Farrell helped there by Lochal McLaughlin robbing him. But great play here, coming across Donal O'Donovan. Up here as far as the midfielder, Colm Galvin. Swinging it diagonally across, should be Egan's, comes onto it swiftly. Solo's forward, the man from Kilbrinn, into the inside forward line. Park Cronin there with Cian Dillon, who's lost his stick, and the referee says you were pushing, and it's got to be a free in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He was definitely very, he looked all eyes on the ball, and sometimes that wouldn't be given, but he was very close to him, maybe half up on his back. But
they're bringing up the goalkeeper. Anthony Nash is on his way. Well, they're 2 goals down. As you can see, just over 15 minutes are gone. Cork's second free of the match.
It looks like Clare are putting, there could be 12, 13 players going into the goals.
This is going to be worth having a look at. Here's Nash, and look at where all the Clare team are.
Jerry, you'd have to say Clare 6 points up after 15 minutes, but Cork look like they're going to get plenty of scores too. It's so open. It's not like an All-Ireland final. There's loads of room out there, and anything can happen in this game.
Well, if you were the Clare manager, what would you do? You'd bring everybody back, of course you would. Now, what can Anthony Nash do? Onto the 13-metre line, and he's got to go. Somehow he squeezed it in. 16 minutes are gone, an amazing start to this final. 2-5 to 1-5. Anthony Nash gets his 3rd ever championship goal. Watch this, sailing it over the head there of Pat O'Connor and everybody else. There was no stopping it. Venomously struck. Look where he went to, onto the 13-metre line. Bang!
And all the goalies hurled inside. But Jared, the problem there is everybody's nearly leaving it to somebody else. Now, he couldn't save that shot anyway. That is a rocket, and if that hit somebody, I think he was rising it into the 13-metre line. It's crazy, it's dangerous, but it's under the rules. He's well entitled to do it.
Who will react to that score? It's Clare who've got it next. John Conlon, he was being held. It's got to be a free in, and it's got to give a chance now to Colin Ryan to put another one over the bar. And he's coming across to perform his task.
And that's a brilliant catch by John Conlon after the goal. But just to go back to it, Ger, you put too many lads on the line. Who's responsible? There was 12 lads or something on the line there. Nobody really knows who's going to go for it. But he couldn't save that shot.
Did they have too many in there?
Well, I think so. Nobody knows really. If you have your 3 lads on the line, at least that's it. But they were hoping maybe to go low and hit somebody. I would like to get a belt of it.
Certainly not. So Colin Ryan then to add to his points tally. He's got 2 so far from frees, and every time he comes up you can more or less write it down, and he's got another one. Tremendous shooting. Well, Davy Fitzgerald a bit anxious after the concession of that goal, but they got the next score, and that's important for him and for Clare. Encouragement, 2-6 to 1-5. Anthony Nash pucking it towards the 45-metre line. There was a wild pull there. Down went Park Cronin. His marker is Cian Dillon. Gave away that last foul or free, which led to the Nash goal. Just watch here. Not a great deal in that, I have to say.
No, both missed the ball in my opinion. And
slight push, but very, very little.
Yeah, but you'd have to say Park Cronin doing very well under the high balls. There's a couple of frees now come off, and he's broken a couple of balls, and that move is certainly working for Cork.
So here comes Pat Horgan, man who is blessed with wonderful natural ability. That last point he got the last day was absolutely sensational, and he is in form as well with the frees. 2 from 2 for him. There's not much point in fouling with the likes of Colin Ryan for Clare and Patrick Horgan for Cork about. So a goal between them once again. Pa Kelly from Ina Kilnamona. Drops into the half back line of Cork. Coming out to collect it, Conor McGrath's looked very lively in the match so far. Galvin composed, drives it back in there. 2 Cork players go for the one ball, and between them they've missed it, and O'Donnell is in for a hat-trick. O'Donnell has got it! Horrible defending, brilliant finishing by Shane O'Donnell, and there seems to be no way to stop him. He's got goals after 6 minutes, 13 minutes, and now 19 minutes of this match, and he's made it 3-6 to 1-6. That should have been defended better. There was nobody there when the ball was blocked down. and knocked to O'Donnell, and he just bounced it in past Anthony Nash.
Yeah, we just have to say, Jared, a couple of things there. An absolutely lovely flick down by John Conlon, but Shane O'Neill caught completely ball watching, but he still had a lot to do. Look at that for a finish, you know, just to improvise like that and throw it up and bat it into the net. You know, a lot of skill involved there, and you know, John Conlon's little touchdown, great score.
When you think if Podge Collins had scored a goal with about 6 or 7 minutes to go in the last match, we wouldn't be back here, I'm pretty certain. They couldn't get a goal that day. They've got 3 this afternoon in the opening 20 minutes. And Clare lead. And Cork are under pressure. And it's Conor O'Sullivan once again, driving it in as far as Lochlan McLaughlin. Needs an extra second on the ball. Clare's touch is faster, sharper. That time there was a foul on him, so it's got to be a free out. And Anthony Nash will come out a goal for Jimmy Barry Murphy's team. And if he's coming out, you can be pretty certain he's going to see if he can put it over the bar from just inside his own 65-metre line.
Yeah, and Jerry, your point there that Clare look sharper, and they do, and they're playing the ball. But still, before that goal, I was just going to say to you, there's only a goal in it, and Cork will be delighted with it. But it just seems every time the ball goes in around their full backline, there's complete panic, and Clare looks so dangerous. And a little bit same down the other end. I think Cork are actually picking up a lot of breaking ball, like 1-6 after 20 minutes, a decent score as well. But Clare are just going to town up in their forward line at the moment. And Shane O'Donnell, 3 goals in an All-Ireland final in 20 minutes.
Anthony Nash dropped in, comes back out towards Pat O'Connor, spoons it out, but Luke O'Farrell tried to intercept. Back in to help out was Harnedy, in there as well as Patrick Horgan, makes an angle for himself and puts it over the bar. The first he scored today from play, and now it's 3-6 to 1-7, so 5 points between the teams. But Cork can't afford to keep on giving away goals at one end, because they're only chipping in with points at the other. Yeah, not going to be enough.
No, maybe not if it continues like that, but the Cork forwards are playing way better today than they did the last day.
There was a time in the last match when they had only 1 point from play for most of the first half. Pressure on Joyce here, sails over his head, didn't get it. He's marking Colin Ryan, and all of a sudden it's Tony Kelly who gets loose. Joyce gets across to him, and Kelly just doesn't need a second invitation. Lovely score from a wonderfully talented, gifted young hurler. He really has been a vibrant influence on Clare hurling this season. Lovely skill, wonderfully crafted point. 2 between them again, 2 goals that is. Chris Joyce, first touch again, needed a second go, then runs back into O'Donnell, and they're being forced back. Look at this. The welcoming committee of Clare has started with the full forward line essentially, making life very awkward. Up into the air went Lee Hahn. He's doing well over there against Donald O'Donovan.
That looked harsh enough now, both of them going for the ball, but the linesman has come in and given his verdict.
Looks like Cork are going to make a change, and that's Stephen White who's going to come on in place of William Egan. So the first change made by Jimmy Barry Murphy and his selectors to bring in Stephen White now, coming up for just his 4th championship match. 24-year-old from Ballygarvan. Off goes Egan.
Yeah, you'd have to say John Conlon and Colin Ryan started very well, particularly under the puckouts. Colin Ryan, particularly down in front of us here, he's winning a lot of ball, just breaking it down with his hurl, and they're picking up the breaks, and a lot of scores coming off this side.
Well, this is now inside his own 65-metre line. Has he got the distance here? He's certainly going for it. Oh, it's a beauty, an absolutely beautiful score. Colin Ryan with a 4th. There is no stopping him.
He's such an integral part of this team, like under the puckouts. He's just breaking the ball, someone is coming around and picking it up, and nearly all the scores have come from this wing here. Diagonal balls coming out from breaking ball that he creates.
In all the matches he's played against Cork this year, and this is match number 6, he's got 48 points against the Rebels, and 38 by my calculation have come from frees. There's a pretty clear message there. Don't do the fouling.
Yeah, he doesn't miss any.
Referee's going to throw this in. Galvin against Daniel Carney. Picked up here by Galvin. Scampers away. Looking for McGrath. That's Conor McGrath. Conor O'Sullivan trying to read the flight of the ball and succeeding. He's had a tough opening quarter to this game. Back it comes here as far as Shane O'Neill, and Cork will now just be trying to hope that they can stay in touch as they did in the drawn final before the half-time break and give themselves a chance for the second 35 minutes. David McInerney's little hand pass across here is short, intercepted by Horgan, and Horgan sees that one end up over the end line and wide. looked really dangerous for Clare.
Yeah, you'd have to say very well defended. Pat Horgan right through, great shoulder there. He wasn't fouled, held up there by Pat Kelly, and the ball goes wide. You just watch here, Brendan Bugler coming across here, just held him up, and Patrick Kelly held his ground there, stood up very, very well, and danger averted. Great chance there for Cork.
Seemed he was determined to use his stick on that. Could he have squeezed it in with his boot?
Maybe dropped it on the boot, but easier said from up here.
Yeah. Pat Kelly. 7 points between these teams.
That's Colin Ryan again, just what I was saying there, Ger knocking it down to himself, and away he goes again.
Such a skillful player. Hand pass there was a little errant, but he gets a chance to get it back again. McGrath wasn't anticipating, but one man who's always anticipating is Pat Donlan, giving tremendous leadership in there as far as Shane O'Donnell. He's caught another one. He seems unstoppable. Good vision to pick out Conlon, and before Carney can arrive, can he get the chance in? He's been fouled, and it's going to be a free for 20 metres out. But they are playing around with the Cork defence there. They're causing major consternation, and Cork just do not seem to have the response.
Well, Shane O'Donnell, look, he's not a big man. Great catch in front of Shane O'Neill again. They're playing lovely ball into him, but you know, Shane O'Neill is one of the most accomplished defenders in the country over the last 6 or 7 years, and Shane O'Donnell is just giving him a roasting out there today. Shane
O'Donnell is only 19 years of age. He's from Éire Óg in Ennis, and he is a UCC student, so he knows a lot about Cork and Cork hurling. Must have been frustrated not to get a chance the last day. A young lad, under 21 medal winner already this year, didn't play last year's team, and 3 goals in this year's replayed final. What a story. Colin Ryan's got his 5th pointed free. 25-year-old, giving these Clare fans some wonderful early moments in this All-Ireland final, played in lovely sunshine.
And it just shows you, probably 2 best forwards Clare have had all year. Tony Kelly and Podge Collins really haven't seen the ball. It's just the way the game has been going so far, and still they've put up a score of 3-9 in the first 26 minutes.
A long way to go. Here's Brendan Bugler here, man given his debut in the championship by Tony Considine, the former manager. Played back in here, and they go for another one, but this one has gone wide. One of the few wides, just a second. Colin Ryan, the player, was trying his luck from 65 metres out, but going very nicely in the 27th minute. Galvin again, first to the ball. Cork are going to need a lift from somewhere, needing to stay in the match now, getting up close to half-time. Brian Murphy, one of those experienced campaigners, up as far as Patrick Horgan. In comes Conor Lehan. He's shown very prominently so far. Back out here as far as Cian McCarthy. McCarthy's shot has gone away to the left-hand side, and that's the second shot he's tried, and unfortunately from his point of view failed with his shooting. Jerry, a huge difference in the game is when a Clareman gets the ball, he's looking up and they have time on the ball, they're playing it in front of their forwards. But when a Cork defender gets the ball, he's under so much pressure from the Clare defenders. He's hitting the ball anywhere. They have to fight so hard for the ball up front, and that's what happened there. Eventually good ball out, and Cian McCarthy again, the second poor wide he's had. Pat Kelly dropping it towards John Conlon's wing. Comes back out here to Lorcan McLaughlin, trying to drive Cork forward now. Next 5 minutes important, they pick off some scores. Inside towards Cronin, let it bounce off his hand. Back there to gather was Conor Ryan, wisely playing the ball out towards Podge Collins. Podge Collins keeping the movement going. Pat Donlan now reading the game brilliantly. Back in there towards O'Donnell, being marked by Shane O'Neill. O'Donnell again causing problems, trying to steal that ball away from Shane O'Neill. And the 27-year-old playing in his 7th championship season gets it forward eventually towards Luke O'Farrell. Helping it on here is Lorcan McLaughlin, 45 metres out from the Clare goal, steadies himself but didn't do enough steadying, and that was a horrible miss on his part. It's 4 wides now by Cork, put under a lot of pressure as you say, but that time was a golden opportunity for him to get a second point. Yeah, there were a couple of bad wides in a row, which, you know, if to put them over, keeps them in the game. But eight points down now, and the fight maybe started to go out of Cork a little bit. You know, you'd feel they need a goal now just to reignite them. That's broken down once again towards Cian McCarthy, helped on here by Stephen MacDonald, fired in there towards Park Cronin, almost seemed to lose his footing, being marked by Cian Dillon. The sweeper there at the back effectively is David McInerney, reading it like an old master, and then playing it down the field here. Cut out this time by the substitute Stephen White, and White knocks this one in towards Luke O'Farrell, but too near the goalkeeper. It's a hit and hope one. The more measured, more creative play is coming from Clare, and every time they take the ball down into Cork's attack, you feel something could happen, and it might happen here again. Once more, it's Colin Ryan Tony Kelly trying to help him out. And Cork are just defending now for dear life and getting the ball away and looking for some respite. And what can JBM and the selection committee do? Tough phase in the game now for them. Haven't scored for over 8.5 minutes. Looks worried. Colin Ryan to hit this one. Always looks calm and composed. Broken down here well. This time it's Conor O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan again in towards Parkrona. It's one-on-one in there until the reinforcements arrive, and that's Seamus Harnedy. Harnedy slings it over his right shoulder and puts it over the bar. He's a really good, gallant young player, playing in just his 6th championship match, continuing to mature and to grow as a player. Helped out there by Parkrona, down as far as Harnedy. He had an immense amount of work to do, made an angle for himself, did well. 3-9 to 1-8.
Yeah, lovely sidestep, and he's had a great summer, you know, burst on the scene. And they're still, look, they're going very much route one, Cork, when they get the chance in on top of Parkrona. He hasn't really caught any clean ball, but he is breaking some balls and a few scores coming after.
So 7 points between them once again. Cork trying to close the gap, Clare trying to deny them, and Tony Kelly slipping the hand pass out here to Galvin. Slips on the ground. Taking it up here is Chris Joyce. In as far as Luke O'Farrell, trying to win his battle there with David McInerney. Helped out here by Lorcan McLaughlin. In there as far as Parkrona, spent the entire match playing it full forward. Looks to put this one inside the left-hand upright. Just half a metre wide, I would say. The fans behind the goal think it was in. They're looking for a Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is going to be used. So was it in? The fans behind the goal thought it was, and the referee James McGrath deciding that technical help is needed. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Jimmy Barry was right on line. I thought it might be over the bar, might have squeezed in, but my eyesight's not as good as it used to be.
Looks to be in. Let's wait for confirmation. A point from Parkrona, his first of the game.
Yeah, and Jerry, I just feel the last couple of minutes Clare have maybe got a little bit, you know, sloppy on the ball. They're maybe just got a bit casual for the last few minutes. The last ball that Colin Ryan got it, Conor McGrath was free down the wing. He didn't give the ball, and you know, if Cork can pick off another point or two before half time, they'll be happy enough.
Cian McCarthy, back it comes here. Conor O'Sullivan, it's just about reaches Harnedy. Inside towards Parkrona again. Breaks it down. Dylan having a busy time of it now against Parkrona. Ball came back out, waiting, and the referee again has blown his whistle. Foul on Cronin, he's decided, and it's got to be a free in. Clare are questioning it. Rather pointless at this stage, but it's got to mean a free, which Pat Horgan will presumably take. Came into the back of him here.
I think it was
clumsy and awkward, but not more necessarily a foul.
Well, that's 3 frees I think that Parkrona has won, and you'd have to say the 3 of them were very marginal. They're 50-50, and you know, Cork have got the benefit of them, and you know, all of a sudden, like, the gap is closing again, and you have to say it's a bit like the last day, Cork sticking in the game and staying with Clare when Clare are doing most of the hurling.
Well, they've got quality and skills, this Cork team, no question of doubt about that. When you get to an All-Ireland final, you have to be a very, very good team of players, but they've got great character, immense fighting ability as well, which has endeared them to the fans. Pat Horgan to take this, and Pat Horgan knocks it over the bar. He's got 4. 3 of the 4 have come from frees, and it's 3-9 to 110, or in points, 18 points to 13. 2 minutes to go to half time.
You know, Joe, we're talking about the sweeper system all year. Clare were 8 points up a couple of minutes ago. It's down to 5. Would you not bring back the sweeper maybe and just defend your lead and tag on a few points? I know it's a long way out with a half to go, but
I think Davy Fitzgerald is concerned that Cork have the players who could shoot from outside, as it were, from around 45 metres and shoot with accuracy. It's one of the reasons I think he hasn't necessarily gone for it, but maybe he will. It's going to be a free, which Anthony Nash will come and take. Out to left half back he will go, and Stephen White will leave it there for him.
Yeah, and you have to remember Cork playing with a nice little bit of a breeze. It's not very strong, but it is certainly favouring Cork in the first half.
2 goals and 5 points already scored in this year's championship by the goalkeeper. Comes again. Dropped in there dangerously, well batted out by the Clare defence this time, out as far as Brendan Bugler. Aware that he could be hooked and challenged. Harnedy was the last one, and he's left it behind. Horgan's got it, he's stolen it away, and he put it over the bar. Well, a wonderful bit of pinching that time by Pat Horgan. When that ball came out, Clare looked to have it. It was Bugler who was making his way out, then dispossessed there, left it behind after the ball was intercepted and over the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. No great argument from the Clare players. Even I felt maybe he was fouled coming out there. Daniel Carney came in a little bit high, but only 4 points in it now again.
1 minute of added time being played, which means we've got about another little under 90 seconds still to go. 4 points between the teams, where it was 8 not all that terribly long ago. It's been some first half. 8, nearly 9 minutes since Clare scored. Colin Ryan hoping that Clare will get the last point of this first half, just to stamp their absolute authority on it. It's stolen again. Brian Murphy this time, nipping in. The 31-year-old got to that, didn't get a free after that. The referee allowed it to develop and continue. It comes out to Podge Collins, and Podge Collins trying to get space for himself. Clare wanted to finish with a score, and Clare people thought there was a foul there on Collins, which wasn't given, and it comes back as far as Anthony Nash. And both sets of supporters are rather puzzled by some of the decisions, but out it comes anyway, out of defence. Brilliantly caught there by Conor Ryan, trying to feed it to a colleague here. Well into stoppage time, just a few seconds remaining in this first half. Cork have it back, and it's Cian McCarthy once again. Back in there, read superbly by Pat O'Connor, the highly durable left half back. Then there, as far as Brendan Bugler is switched across. Ryan once again, that's Conor Ryan, into the inside forwards. Shane O'Neill determined he was going to win the next ball, but he's left his man behind, and here comes O'Donnell. He's got 3 goals. Can he possibly get 4 before half-time? Closed down well by the Cork defenders this time. Takes 2, Shane O'Neill helped out, and then Conor O'Sullivan came across, got it, knocked the ball away. The referee has blown his whistle, I think, and it's half-time at Croke Park. The referee signalling that that is it for the opening half. A half where the name of Shane O'Donnell pretty much rings around the stadium here. Goals after 6 minutes, 13 minutes and 19 minutes. A response by Anthony Nash, a goal from a 20-metre free. An absolute blaster after 16 minutes of play. There's so much to talk about at half-time. Who's going to do the business in the second half? Half-time score, it's Clare, 3 goals and 9 points. Cork, 1 goal and 11. And the Cork medical officer was telling me that his son Brian is one of those all around the globe watching today. He's in Sydney, and a friend in London, Catherine Holhan, also watching. Hope you're all enjoying it. You are if you're from Clare, you can be sure, because they're 4 ahead, 8 points up after 25 minutes. Now who's going to get the next score in this match? It's Norcon McLaughlin straight away, and challenged high there. Challenges by John Conlon, I think, and it's going to be a free for Cork, and they've brought Patrick Horgan all the way out to midfield to take this.
Yeah, Jared, very early in the second half with a huge, really a huge free now. Like Clare were 8 points up. If Pat Horgan scores this, it's back to 3. And,
just an indication of the breeze. It's not that terribly strong.
No, I think it might have died a little bit, but Pat Horgan very much said to Anthony Nash there he was coming out to take it. But as I said, 8 points to be down to 3 if he puts this over, and that's some comeback again by Cork.
John Conlon gets the yellow card for that foul straight at the second half. And Horgan, who got 5 points in the first half, tries his luck with this one. It was a fair distance out. He's missed it anyway, put it away to the right. First wide of the second half, and the 5th in all for Cork. Cork hoping now to try and up their physical approach in the second half, you could be certain. But it was Clare who were the dominant force throughout most of the first half and should be further ahead. That yellow card for John Conlon then, so he has to be careful. In midfield, Daniel Carney loses it, and out comes Podge Collins, feeding it here as far as Tony Kelly, right on the sideline, trying to get loose here, and he does so, succeeds brilliantly, got a lovely bit of force behind that, brilliant accuracy. He's some Clare. 2 points for Kelly, and Clare have got the first score of the second half.
Yeah, Jared, that's an incredible score. Look, on the sideline, nothing on, 3 Cork men around him, and he cuts back inside, and there's very, very few players in the game could take a score like that. What a player for a 19-year-old.
Well, they've got a crop of wonderfully talented young players. Under 21 champions 09 and 11, 12 and 13, of course, as well. That's Cian Dillon put under pressure, needs a bit of help, and Pat Donnellan playing like a wise old head. He's only 28 years of age with a lot of experience. Conor O'Sullivan now trying to pick out the perfect pass all the way down towards the full forward line. It's Horgan who got it, balanced it beautifully, and he is fouled, and it's going to be a free in, and this should go over and be Cork's first score of the second half and put 4 between them again. Or are they going to think about the goalkeeper? They're thinking about Nash. That's the big cheer you can hear in the background. Anything on the 20-metre line or close to it now at this stage. They're thinking about it, but they've told him to go back. He was on his way out.
Yeah, but Jared, just before that, the piece of skill by Pat Horgan there, that ball was coming down out of the clouds. Great first touch, and brought it in, and he was trying to bring the ball onto the 21-yard free for the free and calling up Anthony Nash, but the referee brought it back a couple of yards and he just tapped it over the bar.
He's done exactly that. So first of the second half for him and for Cork, 6 points for Pat Horgan. And now there's going to be another change, and the familiar figure of Tom Kenny is going to come on to try and maybe add a steadying influence. So off goes Daniel Carney. He was a real star in the drawn match, not as prominent today, and Kenny comes on as a direct replacement. And Kenny's gone into midfield, 31-year-old, 53 championship appearances in all for him. It's a very experienced man, the most experienced of the Cork team in there now. Lorcan McLaughlin hand passes it back and almost puts Conor O'Sullivan in difficulty, and they play around to try and get themselves out of trouble, and they succeed with Shane O'Neill. Very determined burst out of the back there, in over the head of Conor Lehan, gathered up well by David McInerney for Clare. Back into the heart of the Cork defence again. Stephen MacDonald back down. Oh, what a catch that is, brilliantly taken by Conor Ryan. One of the best catches of the match so far. Batted back out again. Tom Kenny back out into the middle, out as far as Brendan Bogley here, pursued by Lorcan McLaughlin. Batted back out here, it's Brian Murphy who's now back there in that Cork full back line, helping out Conor O'Sullivan. Murphy's there, Shane O'Neill and Conor O'Sullivan. That's the makeup really of the Cork full back line for the second half. O'Donnell's gone out into the half back line. Meanwhile, Stephen Moylan hits it and puts it over the bar. Will he be the star of this match? His dad was the man of the match in the 1976 All-Ireland final, Cork against Wexford, and he's come on as a sub at half-time and he's put it over.
Yeah, lovely tidy score. Here's Conor Ryan just before that fantastic catch, which I'd have to say the Cork backs in the last 15 minutes really have got on top of the Clare forwards. They're cleaning up, they're picking up all the breaking ball, and they're doing very, very well, and Cork are really back in this game now with every chance.
Once again it is Conor O'Sullivan. Again he looks around to try and lay it off. It's his first instinct to always retain the possession, not just give it away helter-skelter downfield. Sometimes perhaps it's a better option, but he's very careful and very cautious about how he uses possession. That's Pat O'Connor trying to get the ball out of defence for Clare. One back by Cian McCarthy, looking for a better second half now. Into space here. Cian Dillon wins the race. Doesn't get the ball, however. Patrick Cronin is there alongside him. A little pile-up of bodies. Harnedy went down, and the referee has given Cork the free, and you can judge by the booing of the Clare fans. They don't agree with it one little bit, and Davy Fitzgerald wants to add his weight as well to the argument that it shouldn't have been a free there, and the ball has been moved in now, and the referee's telling Davy Fitz, off you go there. So James McGrath not endearing himself to David Fitzgerald, the Clare manager, who's seen his team concede a free and now is in a better scoring position for Pat Horgan to hit. 6 so far for him. The margin's 3 points at this stage. Remember, it was 4 at the break. It was 8 at one stage during the first half. He should be able to get it back down to 2 here. And it's anybody's match, in spite of the fact that Clare got 3 goals from Shane O'Donnell in the first half. He's taking a long time over it, Pat Horgan, giving himself every opportunity and putting it over the bar. Some final, 3:10 to 1:14, but this was very controversial, and Davy Fitzgerald certainly felt that the bodies just fell over there.
Yeah, absolutely, but you know, he's saying there David freeze, but he has to keep the head now. The reality is Clare were 8 points up and they're relaxed. Cork have come back to 2 points. They're right back in this game, and Clare need now to get a grip somewhere around the middle of the field, but Cork doing all the hurling at the moment. A great first touch by Colin Ryan.
Absolutely brilliantly done. Back it comes as far as the midfielder, Colin Galvin. This would be a score to try and settle them down. He doesn't get it, puts it wide. And that is 5 wides now for Clare. Their first of the second half. 3:10 to 1:14. Louis Mulqueen there, one of the selectors, having a word with Davy Fitzgerald. Well, he has a terrific ability, Fitzgerald, to blend the skills of a talented group into what he hopes will be a winning All-Ireland combination. A lot of work to do yet. They had the lead, they still have it, and Cian McCarthy trying to do something about it for Cork, but cut out brilliantly. Stopped at the pass really by David McInerney, and then trying to pick out a collie, but the ball across to Bugler just a little bit too long. Line ball to Cork. Clare getting a little bit edgy and frustrated in their approach at this stage. Could be playing into Cork's hands.
Yeah, and Jeremy talked about the tackling of the Cork forwards in the the Clare forwards in the first half. Of the Cork forwards, they're great tackling coming out there. David McInerney held up, and he was forced really to put the ball out over the line.
It's got to be Cian McCarthy who's got to take it. Teddy, his dad, of course, won 2 All-Ireland medals in the 1 year. Big one in. Pat O'Connor tried to reach for it. Everybody tried to get to it. Runs away, and eventually David McInerney emerges with possession. What a brilliant first season he's had at championship level, all the way through the centre here. Shane O'Neill, the other number 3. Happy to see that one picked up by Conor O'Sullivan. Good combined play in the end, and now Stephen McDonnell in the half-back line. Kept in play here by Cian McCarthy, diagonally in there, putting the pressure back on the Clare backs in this All-Ireland final replay. Coming to you live from Croke Park. In there is Seamus Harnedy, can't quite get to it. Again, it's Cian Dillon showing his strength and his resolution, but stymied in his actions to try and get the ball away. Coming out there was Moylan, in came McLaughlin, and that's put into the goalkeeper, and Pa Kelly drives it a mile, the proverbial mile, putting the pressure back on. Stephen McDonnell collects, Tony Kelly comes in to challenge, McDonnell's away, he's got a support player if he needs him. Joyce was looking for it, it was just yards away from him. In came the Clare backs. McGrath back there acting as an auxiliary half-back. Challenge once again there by Stephen Moylan. Helter-skelter stuff, and in the end the referee says too many steps were taken, and he's given the free against Clare, and so Cork have a chance of getting another score. Remember, they're 2 behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge work by Conor McGrath first of all, and then the referee judges him to take too many steps. Cork really all the momentum with them now. What a comeback. Game looked over earlier on in the first half, and now there's only a point in the game, is there?
Pat Horgan puts over another one. 8 points for Patrick Horgan. 310 to 115 means in points. Clare 19, Cork 18. Some comeback. He will be delighted. Side showing tremendous character. Clare with just 1 point so far in the second half, which is nearly 10 minutes in. Cork, by comparison, have scored 4. And they come again. Clare trying to deny them. Brendan Bugler, his side, realising they need a point. They need a score to settle them down. And Galvin's on his shoulder. Kenny's after Galvin. Galvin trying to get in. Kenny trying to stop him. Eventually they run out of road. Shane O'Neill there. Galvin trying to get it back. Brian Murphy has it right on his own end line. Hersies fly away. Out it comes here as far as Shane O'Neill. Slipping the hand pass down. McLaughlin coming on to it. Holds his feet, retains his balance and control, but gives it away then in the end with that pass as far as Conor McGrath. And Conor McGrath drops it in. It should be Nash's, and it is, and there's no pressure on him whatsoever. And Anthony Nash, the teacher in Mitchelstown CBS, playing in his 12th championship game, belts it away downfield. It's broken down here as far as Seamus Harnedy. From Gertrude, tries to get it in. Stopped there by Brendan Bugler. What a turn by Bugler to get it away. The Whitegate man drives it in. It's stopped here by Conor O'Sullivan. What a passage of play. In the end, the referee says too many steps taken. He's been severe on that in the last couple of minutes here. Well, this time ruling against Cork.
I think some of the decisions in the last few minutes. First of all, Seamus Harnedy nearly took the head off Brendan Bugler coming out there. It should have been a free where the ball landed. And then Conor O'Sullivan, I think that was making up for maybe not giving the free. Great play here by Conor O'Sullivan. Yeah, he did maybe take a step or two in fairness to the ref, but it should have been a free in the first place, and Seamus Harnedy should be in the book for that tackle.
Colin Ryan is ready to take it. Harnedy got away with the foul, and so there can be 2 between them again. Oh, he's put it off the post, but it almost came for Podge Collins. Might come yet. O'Donnell, the goal scorer in the first half, all 3 goals scored by him. Cork get away with it. It's a miss by Colin Ryan, and there's still just a 1-point game here in an absolute thriller at Croke Park. Away out of defence there by Stephen McDonnell for Cork. Cian Dillon has it stolen from him. Taken up here once again by Pa Cronin. Slipping the hand pass there as far as Harnedy. Back to Tom Kenny again. And the veteran holds possession. Plays it back as far as McDonnell. They tried to hold on and nurse the ball here and hold on to it. and get it into a scoring position for Patrick Horgan. And Horgan has put it wide and he's furious with himself.
Yeah, with the pressure getting to both teams. Jared Colin Ryan, we said he doesn't miss frees, and he missed one straight in front of the goals there. And then Pat Horgan, you'd bet the last few quid in your pocket he'd stick that over the bar, and he missed an easy chance. But what a game of hurling, Joe. What an All-Ireland final. Clare 3 goals in the first 15 minutes. Shane O'Donnell 8 points up, and next thing Cork looked beaten, and they come back now a point in it at anybody's game. But Clare, you'd have to say all the momentum with Cork at the moment.
Looked like they were getting Dara Conan up out of the subs bench. They're 11 minutes since Clare scored. Had one off the post, as you saw from that free. Conor McGrath now turning beautifully, losing possession. Referee not too far away, so it all is perfectly legitimate and says play on. It was stolen away from you. Out of defence it comes. Back once again come Clare to try and get it, but Horgan wins that battle. Little flick there from Harnedy. Horgan tries to get it again. Stopped there by David McInerney, number 3 for Clare, trying to win possession. 45 metres from his own end line, he's got it, and he was being held back, and he's won the free. Tremendous play, tremendous work by David McInerney from Tulla, just 20 years of age. Here he is, and he was caught as he was coming out here.
Just a little hold back there by Seamus Harnedy, who worked so hard. And Donald O'Donovan, who scored a winning point, I don't think we've seen him on the ball today, and the last day he was on the ball all over the place in the first half and scored a winning point. And it's just that type of game. It's helter-skelter, it's all over the place.
And it's going to be Colin Ryan now. You may remember in the draw match 3 weeks ago, he missed 2 frees, but then he showed what a great nerve he had. He stayed with the frees and he got a few more after that, and he was very much the hero. 11 pointed frees, 12 points in all his tally.
I think Shane O'Donnell could be going off here. He seems to be limping a little bit. And
I think you're right. Shane O'Donnell is...
and Dara Conan is only warming up. He hasn't even put his helmet on yet. He's still in a bib there. So
the player they're bringing on there is number 21, and that's Fergal Lynch. So the 30, it's a blood sub, we understand. So this free is taken short. Now clever play by Clare. They're trying to vary it, maybe too clever. Tony Kelly couldn't take it. Was he anticipating? Stephen MacDonald got it, and in the end the referee decides that Clare committed the foul. And Tony Kelly, I think, just feeling the frustration of all of this. He's only 19 years of age. I'm not sure that was such a very wonderful idea, that last free.
No, but normally his first touch is so good, and he'll argue who just held him up there. You'd wonder what was the free for. He didn't seem to do anything, but you'd have to say Steve MacDonald having a fantastic second half. He's really set the tone for Cork.
Second guessing why frees are awarded is not exactly something we're able to do from here. Anyway, play is going to continue when the referee is satisfied. It'll be a Cork free from out there where that offence occurred. Clare still leading by a point. And now we have some 20 minutes left in this final. There would be extra time, by the way. Huge one in. Dropped down there into the teeth of that Clare defence. They tried to get it out here. It's McInerney who's trying to roll it up. It's Bugler who's got it, and Bugler is the one who has fouled. Fouled earlier on when he got the ball away. That's Clare's second free of the second half they've been awarded. Cork have been awarded 5, incidentally, because they made a big issue, as it often happens after major matches. How many frees did one team and the other team not get?
Yeah, but I think a little bit of confusion with some of the frees on both sides, but usually they balance out. But certainly some of them look a bit soft.
He's back on. 3-goal hero from the first half, and Fergal Lynch, school teacher from Quinn, is the one who makes way. He was just a blood substitute, but he may get a chance later on to come on. We're going to see number 23 coming on, and 23 is Cathal McInerney. Dropped in there dangerously, bounces awkwardly, picked up by Christopher Joyce. Joyce with O'Donnell after him, helped out here by Stephen MacDonald, the Cork player. Onto it comes Tom Kenny, again slipping it low down in here. Now that time there appeared to be a nudge. Park Cronin went down, looks at the referee pleadingly. So I have to say, it's been happening plenty of times in the past when he has got some frees.
I think
he slipped, did he?
I think he slipped there. There was very little contact, and that's a yellow card. I think that's for persistent fouling, but for Cian Dillon there, and that's 4 frees now that Pat Horgan has won, and certainly that one looked very, very soft. But you have to say, Clare have scored 1 point in the second half so far. Cork have have done all the hurling. Clare, I think, just got a grip in the last 5 minutes to stop the rot a little bit, but certainly you need to say they need a score or two now just to really settle them. So many young players and they seem to be losing their nerve.
So 9, or is it 9 points? Yes, it is. Clare are pleading that one was wide. 9 points, and the teams have drawn level. Wonderful shooting by Patrick Horgan. Great comeback by Cork in the second half. Clare frustrated and annoyed by a number of the frees that have been given against their side. And as Michael was saying, they've only scored 1 point in nearly 18 minutes of the second half so far. Now, can they prevent a collapse here? Teams level. Brian Murphy. It's anybody's game. Chris Joyce sets off. Pursued here by Podge Collins. Everybody's after him. Still managed to get it in as far as Cronin against Cian Dillon, trying to flick the ball up here. Dillon's on yellow. Back it comes here towards Harnedy once more, over his left shoulder. It's going to drop well short and well wide of the target anyway. And Pa Kelly can begin the counter-offensive here. Tony Kelly. Big one in towards Shane O'Donnell. Gets away from Shane O'Neill. Onto it he comes, threatens danger. O'Neill's on the ground and O'Donnell composes himself and fires it up and over the bar. 3 goals and 2 points now for Shane O'Donnell, the youngster from Éire Óg. And it means Clare go back in front again. And it's Clare's first score since the 37th minute.
And you know, if a point can be worth more than a point, it can't be, but that's a huge score for Clare. You know, they're really first bit direct hurling in the second half, and O'Donnell won the ball well and a great score.
Looked like it was going away from him. Knocked back come Cork and Conor Lehan. Lehan shortens the grip on the stick and puts it over the bar. And no, he doesn't. He's put it wide. Cork fans were cheering. He's put it wide. He missed it. And Clare remain in front by 20 points to 19, or 311 to 116.
Yeah,
so
great
that
catch.
Is a seventh wide for Cork.
Sorry, Jordan, great catch by Conor Lehan, and I thought he was going to head for the goals there, you know, with the pace he has, and he just said he'd tap it over the bar and a bit casual and hit it wide.
So on comes number 23 for Cork, and that is Cathal Naughton, and it's Cian McCarthy is going off. So Jimmy Barry Murphy ringing the changes here. It'll be a totally different style of approach now. Cathal Naughton, of course, will try and get the ball and run at that Clare defence and create scoring opportunities. And there the Cork player Stephen Moylan saying he was chopped down, appealing to the referee. Doesn't appear he's going to get anything. Physio in there quickly to have a look at him there. Declan O'Sullivan feeling his hands still. Play continues. Comes in towards Cathal McInerney, the Clare substitute, helped out by Conor McGrath, trying to steal inside. Moylan's after him, right across towards John Conlon, who got the first point of this final, and who now could get the latest, and he has. And now that might certainly begin to settle things down. O'Donnell getting one, O'Connell getting one, and now there are 2 between them.
Yeah, and a tactic of Clare's earlier, the quick line ball. I think Stephen Moylan did get a nice tap in the elbow there from John Conlon, going for that line ball, but a great ball across the field there from Conor McGrath, who I think has been absolutely fantastic for Clare, and John Conlon turns it over the bar.
Big one straight down the centre, great catch by Harnedy, and on as far as Naughton. Cathal Naughton has 2 or 3 players around him. One of them is Donnellan. Off he goes. 21 minutes into the second half. Little block on it. Goalkeeper comes out here, and Pa Kelly can take control and start all over again and belt it down towards John Conlon. Clare by 2 at this critical stage of the All-Ireland final replay. Repulsed. Out it comes as far as the Cork midfielder, and away it goes to Tom Kenny, and Kenny hits it down off the post. And Pa Kelly comes, gathers and plays it away. Both sides have hit a post during this match. There was a push in the back. Stephen White this time appeared to be the guilty party against John Conlon, and Davy Fitzgerald in there to try and make the referee's
mind up. There's no argument there,
quickly.
but a great goalkeeping by Pa Kelly. You can see there the nudge clearly on the back. But I was watching Pa Kelly when that ball was coming in. It was turning in the wind, and he never took his eye off it, as if he anticipated hitting the post. And very, very good goalkeeping.
From the shot by Tom Kenny. Kenny looking for a long-range point. During his illustrious career, he scored just 1 goal, the midfielder Tom Kenny, and that was against Wexford back in 2004. Again, a little chat between David Fitzgerald and Louis Mulqueen, considering further changes maybe. This is Clare's 7th free. and it's taken here by Colin Ryan. And Colin Ryan, with this second half free, has put it away to the right, and it's a missed opportunity to stretch the lead even more. 2 points between the teams, 57 minutes in.
And Ger, that's 2 frees in the second half. You know, that's a very difficult chance, but with that wind he has the distance, and he missed a handier one earlier on, and you know, they could be vital to come to the end of the game.
Who can put in the big finish now? Advantage Clare at this stage. They got it back again with Podge Collins standing on his own 65-metre line, stopped by Stephen McDonnell. Much happier out around the half-back line. He's got on a lot of ball, got in a lot of interventions, but it's stolen away by Clare again, and Conor McGrath once more shows his raiding ability. They try to stop him. Stephen White's number 20 collides in on top of him. No question about the free in this time. And a chance to put 3 points between the teams. This was a great run.
He's had a powerful game. Like, his work rate is unbelievable, Ger. He'd obviously be, that's a foul obviously by Stephen White, but he's obviously more dangerous close to the goals, but the role he plays for Clare, he covers an awful lot of ground out the field. He's tackling, he's carrying the ball when he gets a chance, and again, vital, and a great tackling by John Conlon there as well before that on Stephen McDonnell, and took possession of him.
So after that foul, after that yellow card on Stephen White, it's Colin Ryan who's missed a couple. Now this from 20 metres out is pretty straightforward, and he puts it over. First point he's put over in the second half. 6 points in all, 3 points between them. That man and that little fellow there, all very, very happy, ready to celebrate. Will it be a banner victory? They lead by 3, and Clare have made a change, and Nicky O'Connell is coming on, number 20, and it's Podge Collins, who hasn't scored today, hasn't been terribly involved, is the one who goes off. Here's a chance. Lihan stopped, 3 men waiting for it. Harnedy scores! First ever championship goal for Seamus Harnedy, coming in the 60th minute. And so with 10 minutes to go in the All-Ireland final, the teams are level once again. Look at the number of players waiting for it, and Harnedy was the one who availed of the opportunity after such good work by Conor Lihan. Hit that one, came back off the defender and buried in the back of Pa Kelly's net.
I'd have to say, lovely play by Conor Lihan, great first touch and a great save then first of all, but Harnedy has had a fantastic match for Cork. His work rate and his application all day has been immense. He's 1-2 now on the board, and now draw a match again after 60 minutes.
Some fantastic performances.
There's no separating these two teams.
These sides,
unbelievable
really.
Match again today.
Absolutely. Out they come once more. Harnedy waits, takes it up. Across here, Moylan's looking for it, can't get to it. That's a fabulous catch by Donald O'Donovan. You were saying you weren't seeing an awful lot of him. Well, here he goes. Stephen Moylan from Douglas is after him. He hooks him. Again, it's Donald O'Donovan, the Clonlara player. Slipped inside here, in as far as Cathal McInerney in this thrilling match. Back towards Colin Ryan, elegantly striking it, but inaccurately so as well. And a missed opportunity, and another one has gone a begging. It stays at 3-13 for Clare, 2-16 for Cork, 22 points apiece. We got 10 minutes to go. Who's going to win it?
Well, I wouldn't like to call it now, Ger, but some comeback by Cork, you know, you'd have to say they had the momentum. Then Clare steadied the ship, got a couple of points up, or 3 points up, and then the goal again from Cork is huge at this stage. This
is a super collect here by Cian Dillon. Collected it beautifully, flights it forward here towards Cathal McInerney. In goes Conor O'Sullivan, but emerging from it is Conor McGrath, and he means danger. He's got a player over. He buries it in the back of the Cork net. Conor McGrath, 62 minutes are gone. That could be the goal that will drive Clare forward to collect the Liam McCarthy Cup. It was poor defending, but there was no denying the quality and the run and the strike of Conor McGrath. His 4th goal in championship hurling, his 3rd this season. 4-13 to 2-16, 3 points between them, and Clare come again, and Tony Kelly takes off. Kenny's after him, can't get to him. Kelly tries to knock it over the bar and succeeds. 3 for him. Another one for Clare. They lead by 4, and there are only 8 minutes to go.
Well, there are 2 scores the likes of, you know, as good as you'll ever see in an Ireland final. The Tony Kelly here again now, like from the halfway line on the run on his right side. I don't think that's his good side. Left or right makes no difference. But the goal before that, maybe a little bit of poor defending. But the skill level, the speed, the work rate of that man, and then to stick it up in the roof of the net under that pressure in an All-Ireland final is one of the greatest goals I've ever seen in a final.
But Cork will not give up, and Tom Kenny just hooked there by Pat Donnellan and put him off completely, and Donnellan was punching the air as well he might. Well, he offers poise and controls leadership for this Clare team. He's Davy Fitz out there in the park, really, in a way, in so many ways, fired up. Now, can he lead his team over the remaining 7.5 minutes to collect the cup? Cork will have their own answer to that. Will they offer a positive response? They've been terrific up to now. They've kept on coming back. That time it's Lorcan McLaughlin down injured.
And they have, Gerard, that's the huge thing about this Cork team. The last day they had no right to be in the game. They stayed plugging away, and today they looked 8 points down to come back and draw it with 10 minutes to go, and now 4 points in it, but they're not going to go away. They're going to fight till the end. And look, what a credit both teams are, and both trainers, to send out their team, Jimmy Barry and David Fitzgerald, with this philosophy. This is the way hurling should be played. What a game.
Anthony Nash knocking it in. Harnady's in there. They're all in there, but it's going to come back out. Final shot was by Lihan. Eventually the referee saw the foul in there on the Clare defender, and it's going to be a free out. Donald O'Donovan dusting himself down, walking away from a Davy Fitzgerald, looking at the subs bench and thinking of another change. He's already used up 3 of his possible 5 subs. Cork have used up 4 of theirs. Clare by 4 points here at Croke Park in front of 82,000 people. As you can see, 7 minutes remain, a little under.
And Jerry, you mentioned Donald O'Donovan that I had mentioned earlier. He hadn't maybe seen much of him. That may be the crucial ball in this game. A 50-50 ball in, isolated, Stephen White inside with Donald O'Donovan. He catches and he runs out to the halfway line with the ball and brings it away, and shortly after then Clare add on the goal and a point that maybe will win them this All-Ireland.
Park Kelly's free. Kenny's under it for Cork, breaks it down towards himself, collects it, but immediately dispossessed here. John Connell in there, but taking it away there for Cork is Chris Joyce. Back as far as Conor O'Sullivan. That backline of Cork's been under immense pressure for so much of this game. The Clare defenders had their moments when it was quite uneasy for them. Cork kept on pressing forward, and again Clare come and they look for chances, and Nicky O'Connell now, who had a hand in the pass that came to Donald O'Donovan for the point that levelled the match back 3 weeks ago. But right now it's Clare ahead by 4 as they were at half time. Pat O'Connor up as far as Shane O'Donnell. Got 1 point in the second half to go with the 3-1 he got in the first 35 minutes. Leading the Cork defence, a merry dance and putting it over. It's a dream day for him. Last year it was Walter Welsh, you might remember, and Shane O'Donnell today having a day he will never forget. 3 goals and 3 points.
Yeah, and you'd have to say, Joe, on very limited possession in the second half, and I think the point he got in the second half was so crucial. I mentioned it in the commentary. They hadn't scored for so long and he stopped the rot, but what a fantastic game he's had on one of the great defenders from Cork, on Shane O'Neill. 3-3 in an Ireland final. It's a day that he'll never forget, and God help him for the rest of his life at 19. The pressure that's going to be on him every time he goes out from now on to replicate this.
And that is going to be his final contribution, because Dara Conan's coming on to replace him. But just listen to the reception he is getting as he comes off. It was an inspired choice by manager Davy Fitzgerald to give this young man, this talented young hurler, his big break today on the day of the final, and how he has responded. Anthony Nash with the puck out. Cork down by 5. Is there any possible way back? With only 4 minutes to go of the 70. They collected in the air through the marvellous Seamus Harnedy. Off he goes, flying through the air, shooting, but stopped on the line by Park Kelly. He remained ice cool, and the referee's blown his whistle, and he's giving a free in. Did you see a foul as he was going through that time?
Well, I don't know. Brilliant catch, as you said, by Harnedy. I was watching what a run through the middle and went for the goal, and the goalkeeper ice cool. We'll have to see it again, but I just on that substitution, Gerard, I don't know how he could take off Shane O'Donnell. Scored 3-3, full run, the young lad. Just watch here, yeah, little, pulled his togs, definitely a free, and it's inside the 21. Look where he's given the free, back out here. The foul was actually inside the 21. It should be a 21-yard free, and it's obviously, by the time he rises, it'll be about the 21, but that's beside the point. It should be a 21-yard free.
Well, this has to go in, and the pressure is on Anthony Nash and on JBM once again. He's done marvellously well, Jimmy Barry, to get his team to the final. Nobody expected it in early summer.
12 players on the line again. Like, who's going to go for it? There's too many players there.
Well, they've decided
out a couple now.
to bring a couple out. just in case the ball comes back out to one of the incoming forwards.
I don't know why they don't put a couple of people nearer the ball. You only have to be 14 yards away. It's 25 or 6 yards out.
They've just put Cathal Naughton, Cork, right in front of the backs.
Clare should have a couple of backs. Clare should have 3 or 4 backs there.
There you see Cork with backs now right on the edge of the small rectangle. So if it comes bouncing out, God knows what's going to happen. But Nash will hit it a rocket once again. They need this. He's misdirected it really, and it's gone wide. Harnedy with the last touch. It just didn't come up properly for him.
Well, Jared, technically it's difficult to do, to rise the ball that far ahead and keep control, but that didn't come up at all from. Still went in there and just, it's Harnedy again. And
stays at 4:15 to 2:16.
Anything could happen next year. We've seen so much over the 2 games, but you'd have to think at this stage that Clare should be able to hang on in there.
Well, can they? That is the question. It's very much their advantage, and 2 minutes to go. Surely it has to be. 9 minutes since Cork last scored. That was one they needed there a moment ago, but it wasn't easy. That's spooned back by Conor O'Sullivan, and this time he's done it once too many times and played it out over his own end line and given away a 65. I think it's the first in the match, and it takes the pressure off Clare. It puts the pressure back on Cork. Time is their enemy, and the Clare fans are ready to celebrate their heroes, and they hope they will be doing so inside the next 3-4 minutes.
Ger, look, what an All-Ireland final. We thought after the last day we couldn't see anything like it again, but this has surpassed the last day. For brilliant hurling. Cork have played so well as well. Nobody can point a finger at any Cork player today and say they didn't hurl. Every one of them hurled their hearts out.
Marvellous skills, but great character as well, you know that?
Great resilience, great character, everything you love to see in the game.
Colin Ryan to strike and to put this one over the bar. He's got 7 points in this final. 6 of them have come from frees. He's put 6 points between the teams. It's Clare's title surely this time. Anthony Nash, 2 minutes of added time are going to be played, I'm told. So about 2 3/4 minutes to go before the final whistle, and Tony Kelly nips in here. Naughton's after him. Kelly bounces it again. He's did it in the final 3 weeks ago. Pat Delaney fashion from all those years ago. Here comes Naughton, who tracked back. Cork just living on scraps in the last few minutes, but very, very well from their point of view to get level midway through the second half. But then that Conor McGrath goal in particular, after 62 minutes, that was the one that set Clare up here. They're still going, Cork, still looking for it. And they've got it! Stephen Moylan. Well, it's his 3rd championship goal. He's put 3 between them, and there's still going to be about the best part of 2 minutes to go.
Absolutely brilliant goal, Joe. What a catch, Pat Cronin, and a finish. The goalie that hardly moved. A brilliant finish by Stephen Moylan.
Well, they're probably wondering, are we going to lose this? Still ahead by 3. It's an amazing match.
I said it a couple of minutes ago, anything can happen, and it's not over yet.
Who's going to win the next ball? The next score is important now. Up it goes there towards John Conlon. Couldn't get to it. There was a foul. McLaughlin ready to take the free. Referee wants it taken again. There's another sub just in there by Clare, and that is Shane Amori. He becomes their 5th and final one. All eyes now, however, on the free taker. It's got to be Nash who's got to drop it in. As you can see, the first minute has practically elapsed here, so another 60 seconds to go. But then again, I think we said that the last time as well, didn't we? Here comes Nash. Huge one. Landing about 13 metres out. Collected by Harnedy, looking for space. Fumbled. The Clare defenders get around him. Out it comes to the substitute, Shane Amori. This is his only contribution. He's only on a few seconds, and he gets the ball away far enough. 40 seconds to go. Down to the man who was left out, Dara Conan. They're ahead by 3, Clare. Looking to try and put it over the bar. Very tight angle. He might get a chance here. He does. He walks it all the way in. Dara Conan. That is amazing. 5:16 to 3:16.
Well, you couldn't make this up, Jerry, your wildest dreams. And Derek Conan showed great composure there. He really had he was right not to go for a shot, because he would have given a free puck out if he sent it wide, and he carried it in and ended up in the back of the net.
It's all over. It's all over. champions. Davy Fitzgerald has done it. It's taken a replay. It's taken a magnificent match, one of the great finals, and he can scarcely believe it. But he's achieved wonders with this young team. They've come from the bottom of the pack in the last few years to win their first All-Ireland since 1997. A wonderful scene of euphoria that only an All-Ireland hurling final can engender. John Conlon set it all up. The fans have played their part. Joy unconfined for Clare. Bittersweet emotions for the vanquished from Cork. That's Stephen White there who came on as a sub. JB Yamo did his bit to get his team here. How they played, but Clare were the better. Final score, it's Clare 5-16, it's Cork 3-16. Davy Fitzgerald, centre stage. Well, it's been an amazing championship, capped by an amazing final. And for Cork, it's been a remarkable year as well. Getting to the final has been an achievement in itself for an emerging squad and a proud management team. But it's about winners at this stage.
Ger, even down to the last ball, Ger. Seamus Hardy won it again. A little flick that Cahill knocked in. He could have caught it and buried it in the net. He dropped it, ended up in the back of the net up the field. What an incredible game.
Our son got in on Shaw, agus our son got in a top fiacandar and Gliha Shaw, Timble and down our fod. Ball on Bucas O'Cree, a goal a Corkig, agus an Clare, Asantas Pointus, Untuk, Omaniakta, a hug she doing in you. Trace Liam O'Cree, Lesson Glore, Asan Bua, Untuk, a Via Akko and Shaw, agus ball on Povron, a yen of La Corkig. Croig Shiv, go Huntuk and you, agus the Sulagum, go make Turley Star, Ever Gwidibra, and Caterella Hagan Shivarash, Garmaga of Corkig. Ball on Bucas, a goal in our Nurahuri, Liberty, Centra, agus Etihad. Agus an Ishakorja, is Kush Oish, agus an Ora Dumsa. Vic Carty, of Runna, Patrick Donnellan, captain on Clare.
The Uachtaráin Liam O'Neill presents the Liam McCarthy Cup to Pat Donnellan as Clare are the All-Ireland champions, champions of 2013, they're champions for the fourth time. What an achievement. Davy Fitzgerald has done it with his wonderfully talented group of young players. Carnival time. Today's Clare players, they'll be soon folk heroes and legends, you can be sure. And right now the people are just overjoyed and you can see shaking with excitement. It's an enormous sporting achievement for Davy Fitz and for all the others, and what a welcome home they're going to get in Ennis tomorrow night.
Today is a day that we need to see a lot more often in the county of Clare. We haven't been here for a long number of years, but I can tell you one thing for sure. With these group of players, Clare will be here a lot more years from now on. It gives me great honour to start 2 years ago when Davy was manager or became manager. He asked me to be captain, and for myself it's a huge honour to be chosen as a worthy representative for the qualities that these players show. I think to a man for the last 2 years there could be nothing but good things said about him, and for me and for the players here, we're so proud to wear the Clare jersey, and thanks so much for the supporters for following us here today. People to thank. When Davy comes on board, he brings a lot of people with him. So I'll start, but we have a huge backroom team, Our doctor, Doc Quinn, our physio, Diarmid and Mary, Amy McInerney, a lot of people who do a lot of thankless jobs, I suppose, of training. Like Tommy Hegarty, Tom Stackpole, Shawnee McMahon, Pádraig McMahon, Fergie McDonough. Who am I thinking of? Oh, Natty, our I suppose our inspiration, our performance coach, I suppose our team manager you might call him, but a lot of other people to thank as well. Gazzy, I suppose he's a famous man around Clare. He's our kit man. He's I suppose one of our friends around the dressing room, and the place wouldn't be the same without him, so hopefully he'll be here with us for the next 10 or 20 years as well. Saoirse Bulfin, he's a Limerick man, I suppose, but he's got Clare blood running through his veins. And I suppose all the saves that Pat's been pulling off through the year, a lot of us good thank us to him. We've had, I suppose, a statistician team. Mike Curry, Dinny Callahan, Mikey DC. And they provide all the vital statistics throughout the year. Thanks a million, lads. We had a meeting, I suppose, a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about different things and what it meant to be playing for Clare and what it meant to wear the Clare jersey. And when I was growing up, I suppose something that I always associated with a Clare jersey was Pat O'Donnell. He's a fella that we have huge pride that he's involved with us. He gives so much of his time, his effort, other funding and money and things like that to keep this Clare team going. And we thank him sincerely. Thank you, Pat. I suppose to our team management, our fitness and our conditioning is something that's been remarked upon as being very good throughout the year. And we have a man, I suppose he's a scientific and he's a perfectionist. And he's a Limerick man, a bit of Kerry in him. But from Leslie on as well, he's an honorary Clare man. That's Joe O'Connor. And finally, I suppose, to the team management, we have three men that are involved with Davy: Dewey Mulqueen, Mike Deegan and Paul Kinnerk. I suppose three men that always have a word to say, something, I suppose, that'll try and bring you along the day and try and get the most out of you. And they are so committed to Clare Hurling and committed to this group and committed to us getting the most out of ourselves, and we genuinely thank you from the bottom of our heart today on behalf of the panel. And finally, I was a young man when I was inside the stand here in 95 and 97, and Anthony Daly spoke about a manager in charge that was obsessive. And we have a manager in charge, Davy Fitz, and to say that he's obsessive about Clare Hurling and obsessive about winning would be an understatement. He is the most... He's a man, I suppose, that has a certain persona in the media and in papers and things like that. But I can tell you, if any one of these players had to put their life on the line for Davy, it'd be done in the morning, not a problem. He gives everything he has for this county, and we thank him for giving everything that he has. Thank you, Davy. And finally, I suppose to the Cork Hurling team, your management team, I suppose, look, we've had unreal games this year so far, not least 3 weeks ago, and then today to cap it off again. And look, we are a team that pride ourselves in being honest, pride ourselves in being commitment, and pride ourselves in giving everything we have. And it's brilliant to be met with a team that has the same qualities out there today, and it was just nip and tuck, goal for goal like it was the last day, and just thank you for a great game today. And 3 cheers for Cork. Hip hip. Hip hip. We'll all see you in Ennis tomorrow night.
And you can be sure they'll have some party in Ennis tomorrow night. Davy Fitz, Pat Donnan and all the others taking back the Liam McCarthy Cup to the Banner County. Clare's glorious day, a glorious day for the sport.